Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It is your transfer and football news daily at midday every Monday to Friday, and lots to talk about. I'm going to actually throw something in there that I'm going to want to talk about managers, because that's obviously the big thing at the moment, but I just want to talk about Michael Carrick, who's a very new assistant at Manchester United to Jose Mourinho. Has he just ended the Pogba rumours to leaving Manchester United? Quoted as saying, it's a very silly question really. Of course he's got a future. He's a big player for us. He's a great age. He's got his peak years ahead of him, so it's not something I'd give a second thought to be honest, in relation to Paul Pogba leaving Manchester United. Now, some United fans are concerned about it. Pogba being a little bit cagey about it, Mourinho not being too committal about it, but I don't think Pogba can leave Manchester United. I don't think it can happen. I've said this many times. He's in the current market, he's got to be worth around £130 million. Who's going to pay that for Pogba when he's not actually doing that well at the moment, and he's in the middle of a long contract with United? So people would have to give United a lot of money, and I don't think anybody's out there willing to do that at the moment. So Pogba, I think, will be a Manchester United player next season. Whether that's right or wrong, whether some United fans feel Pogba's not turning it on anyway. But Carrick's comments, I think, pretty much should put that Pogba thing to bed, although guarantee it won't. Anyway, the tagline of the show: Unai Emery has been confirmed as Arsenal manager, but the Maurizio Sarri, who was the Napoli manager last season, is heavily linked with being Chelsea's manager this season coming up. Conte could be taken a year out. Certainly, I think he will leave Chelsea. But more interestingly, Carlo Ancelotti is linked with the Napoli job. Mancini obviously has taken the Italian job, as far as I know, national team. Ancelotti been out of a job for a while. Him to take the Napoli job. Sarri would be then free. Links with Zenit St. Petersburg, but Chelsea meant to be very interested. And for anybody who doesn't know anything about Sarri, he's not one of these young coaches in his 40s, dynamic or anything like that. He's been around for a long time. In fact, he's been coaching for about 13 years, predominantly, I think, in fact, exclusively in Italy. Done very well at Napoli, obviously, in recent times, but his management record before that, I think it was at Empoli or something like that. Well-known Italian coach, but not really for I just don't know. What I'm trying to say is that he's done very well at Napoli recently, but I don't know whether he'd be a success at Chelsea. I think Conte's the better horse to back, but obviously they want to move on and change from that. He's done very well at Napoli. They play a good brand of football, an attacking brand of football, and they should have won the title this year, but obviously Juventus coming through and pipping him at the post. And could he bring any of those Napoli players? Oh God, I'm yawning a lot today. Could he bring any of them Napoli players with him to Chelsea? Mertens is obviously looking at leaving. I think he's got a release clause of about £25 million, although he is 31. I think he could do well for someone like Chelsea. I think Jorginho will probably go to Manchester City. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting move. I don't know what Chelsea fans would think about that. Sarri going there. He seems to be a little bit of the flavour of the month sort of manager, but I'm not overly convinced about it, to be honest. Looking back on it, looking back at it neutrally, but I'd be down to Chelsea fans. It could be an absolute revelation. On Unai Emery, we spoke about him yesterday. Obviously, this deal was going to get confirmed at some point in the next 24 hours. It's been confirmed this morning. He's done very well at Sevilla, winning 3 Europa Leagues, and he's done okay at France. But it's funny because Arsenal fans, when Manchester United signed Zlatan, were like, "Oh, he's been scoring in a pub league against farmers," and then now they're getting a manager who's done well in that league. Oh, he's won titles. So I think he's going to fit Arsenal like a glove. I think that job he's got there is very, very hard, and he's not the creme de la menthe sort of manager really. He's not in the top group of managers, and Arsenal aren't in the top group of clubs in England. I don't think Arsenal are going to win a Premier League anytime in the next 5 years. I think Emery's job is to get them into the top four and to start the rebuild process of Arsenal. I mean, they had Wenger for a long, long, long time. Another yawn. I'm going for a hat-trick. And they've got to rebuild from that. Arsenal fans need to reassess their expectations and be patient and understand that they finished sixth because they are the sixth best club in England. They're not in the top four at the moment. And if they achieve fourth next season, I think that would be fantastic progress for them. Let's have a look at some of the latest transfer news anyway. Remember I'd mentioned Ajax and Netherlands defender Matthijs de Ligt going to Spurs. Well, apparently Pep Guardiola's interested in him, according to The Guardian. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if City went and spent good money on another defender, but they've spent enough there already. And also Arsenal, lots of talk about Arsenal. There's even a story in the Mirror that Emery won't have any say on transfers. Well, I mean, that's just bloody ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. And also talk that Mikel Arteta actually pulled out of the Arsenal job and was their first choice. We spoke about this last week, that he was their first choice, but he pulled out of the deal, which is why they went for Emery, because he feels that his future's better at Manchester City, and Manchester City have sort of value him and want him to take over from Pep at some point. So interesting around that, but especially in relation to, my good God, I can't understand that. That's 4 yawns, and especially in relation to maybe Manchester City are looking to build some sort of monopoly on the way they play and have another manager who takes over, and be interesting, especially if it ends up being successful for them. Barcelona are still confident they're going to sign Griezmann. So am I. I'd be very surprised if Griezmann doesn't go to Barcelona. Looks absolutely nailed on, and has looked nailed on for a long time. Wayne Rooney, even though they got rid of Sam Allardyce, many thought that might be a reason for Rooney to now stay at Everton, but he is apparently going to be flying over to DC United, Washington DC side, isn't it, and discuss a move there. So interesting that about Rooney. Danny Welbeck, according to Talk Sport, is being tracked by Turkish side Besiktas. I'd be very surprised if we saw, it's so long since we've seen an English player going abroad. I'd be very surprised to see Danny Welbeck do that. 27, part of the England World Cup squad. And New York manager Patrick... Oh my God, this is the worst I've ever done. Patrick Vieira has denied reports he's going to join Nice as manager. That was being reported a couple of days ago. And... Brighton are closing in on PSG's Malian defender Moussa Sissoko, 17. That's interesting. That is interesting. And former European champions AC Milan could face exclusion from next season's Europa League as a result of breaching financial fair play rules. And that's been reported by La Gazzetta dello Sport, which is concerning because Manchester United fans are hoping that Milan are going to take Fellaini off their hands. Let's hope that doesn't collapse through. And Mundo Deportivo in Spain are the people reporting that Barcelona are very confident of signing Griezmann because he's already given them his word. And Arsenal plotting to move for Nice and Ivory Coast midfielder Jean-Michel Seri, who is 26. Interesting. Most interesting. I think Arsenal will do really well. They have a passionate manager who likes attacking football, says Gazel Cesar. Look, I think Arsenal will be okay, but their squad is that of a 6th place team. Their mentality is that of a 6th place team, and it's got a very hard job on his hand, that manager. Very hard. Very, very hard. Emery is perfect fit for Arsenal, Europa League manager for a Europa League team, says Ben Johnson. Arsenal are in a great position. They will play lovely football. I think Griezmann will sign a new contract at Atletico, says Sean McNally. Well, let's see what's happened with that. And Emery isn't better than Jose, says Pankaj. I don't think anybody needed that to be said. And Shubnam, just talking about United, says, what if Alexis Sanchez doesn't find his form at Manchester United and we let Martial go, who has proved himself at Manchester United? Interesting. Ronaldo move, says Dadir. And 3 days left to the Champions League, says Leighton Long. Yeah, remember, this is starting to gather a pace on social media. It's not meant to be a big event, but it is a big event, the Champions League final. But I am doing the watch along. I'd said I didn't want to do it, but I am doing the watch along for the Champions League final. I'm not a Liverpool fan. I will cry if Liverpool win. I am supporting Real Madrid, and I know that's football is a neutral channel, but I'm the only one who can do the watch along because Xander can't do it. So I will do it, and I suppose it makes it an interesting angle because I really don't want Liverpool to win. But I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans already on social media saying, I'm going to be watching that as well because I can't wait to see what he's like. but we'll see what happens. Anyway, we're closing in on 30,000 subscribers as well. I can see we're only 80 off it, so please do subscribe and keep spreading the word. It's doing really, really well, especially as we move towards the Champions League final and then on to the World Cup, which is where we're going to be doing a lot of content on this channel. So, Hala Madrid, says Michael Hubbard. Yes, I agree with that. And Ben Johnson says again, I'm Real Madrid's biggest fan on Saturday. Remember, Xander's doing a show on half past 7 every night as well. A longer show than this, more interactive, talking about transfers as well. So if you are free around 7:30, make sure you're tuning in for that. And thanks everybody for watching. I think I probably was yawning a little bit there because I'm bored of talking about managers. When are we going to get some genuine transfers done? It seems like the manager transfer window is ticking along very, 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 very well. We need to get some players signed. It's been open for nearly a week and we've not seen anything yet. I'd love to see some players actually coming in. I will be doing FIFA Pankaj, and it will be about 1:30 on my channel, the Mark Goldbridge channel. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. Back at 7:30 with Xander, and I'll be back at midday tomorrow.